This one's going out to all the fellas. So this one is going out to all the fellas. Tribute to them. I told you he had dick fingers. We need an extended remix. Okay. So that's the guy who posted this. So that was our bonus shot. I hope you all suffered as much as I did. So that was Nord. That's our boy. That's the guy who posted this shit.
There's nothing more than propaganda and justification for stealing children. The reason we see empty cities in the early 19th century is because they were in fact empty, void of population.
Why were they empty?
The reason they are bustling 30 years later is because orphans were shipped into these cities to repopulate them. You see, in the early 19th century, there was a worldwide reset of sorts through depopulation.
Yeah,
and then
it was good. It was great.
The people we see in these photographs
I hope you all sincerely reconsider associating with women.
They inherit it without a clue as to what it actually was and who it belonged to, but they were unknowingly complicit in repurposing pretty much all of these structures. I know.
Wait.
None of this is making much sense at the
Wait. Are you gonna go into giants now? Are you gonna say giants made the things?
On Earth, these cities were empty and full of mud. What happened that meant governments needed to repopulate the Earth? And I know what you're thinking. This is all very intriguing, but what does this have to do with flat Earth? You want to know more about the firmament, the sun and moon, and our stationary plane. Do not worry.
Yeah?
Everything will become clearer as we continue our journey.
Okay.
The prevalent evidence of buried infrastructure.
I should know better than to ask you questions.
The industry of orphans is just a start. These are all necessary clues, hinting at some kind of cataclysm, but the real story hasn't truly begun yet.
Okay.
The stage had to be set first, and now it is ready.
If it's just, I would prefer that, honestly.
I know you feel it, viewer. The deserted cities, the buried architecture, and orphans all signal a looming darkness. There is a great black cloud in front of us, and I won't lie, we are heading right into the heart of it.
Okay.
And like I said before, we do not have much time.
Okay.
Come on, it's time for me to honor my promise.
We only have 5 hours. The Lost History of Flat Earth, Episode 4, Back to the Future.
An inorganic transpirates our lands and collects and solidifies at the inner and outer regions of our flat, stationary realm.
Bro.
God should have sent a message
Ice
to the inhabitants
wall.
of Earth and been precise.
The Secret of the Flat Earth, Rick Astley. We got our first square.
And natural laws. Because in their time, a great deception will be cast over them, like a cold shadow of an unknown, nefarious king. The breakthroughs in clothing and medical beds mean that the natural world has suffered as a consequence.
Oh my god, no. Med beds?
Depending on the type of genre you
We're
are
not getting into med
the solution
beds.
is either, 1, for humanity to perish as a result, perhaps destroyed by the very artificial intelligence systems it created in the first place, or perhaps by a natural, lung-choking virus that has mutated and is sweeping the earth to restore natural balance. Or 2, for humans to say goodbye to their lonely little blue ball and head off into space in search of a new home. But you see, there is no globular planet, and there is no space.
Okay,
and therefore,
space isn't real.
Are purely fiction.
Where is it? It's on here. Oh, we only have stars aren't real.
And not particularly innocent. What we don't see emphasized in these visions of the future, however, is the potential of electromagnetism to transform all human life,
I guess that's
technology,
close enough.
and
What?
society.
Oh, okay.
Which is strange when you consider that all life and the Earth itself is impossible without electromagnetism. Why would visionaries want to explore this in more detail? Could it be that they are not allowed to? Could it be that they are afraid of something? Afraid of us connecting one too many dots, perhaps? And again, horseshoe magnets can act as powerful
the
electromagnets.
Earth is a
If
toroid?
civilization was to advance technologically through the use of electromagnetism, then the horseshoe magnet would certainly have a tremendous role to play in that
Yeah, that's true. Alright, stars aren't real. Take another drink, everybody.
And it certainly did. The horseshoe magnet. The Arc de Triomphe. Yes, one of the most powerful electromagnets ever constructed.
What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? What? Oh my god. Bro. What the fuck? Arches, therefore electromagnetism? I'm in awe. I am absolutely in awe of the fucking doctrine of this man. What the fuck are you talking about? They're not what you think they are. They're instruments of power. Alright. Antennas. Bro. Domed resonators. What the fuck?
Welcome to the future. Except it's the past. The future came and went, and we missed it. The magnificent architecture we see throughout our realm, in which the official liars and controllers of our world have termed historicist, neoclassical, renaissance, gothic, and so on, all belong to one whole unified civilization. A civilization so developed, they had harnessed the power of electromagnetism to such a high degree that they not only built these huge structures, but also crafted them with utter finesse and beauty. A celebration of their own technological advancement. The structures were designed with the sole intention of harvesting and generating electromagnetic energy and distributing it across the world. Their cities, towns, an entire way of life ran.
God dropped the arches on the planet because
powerful electromagnetic energy.
He needed power
The energy was
plants.
harnessed and collected from the ionosphere above our heads through the use of antennas, spires, domes, and towers. All the impossible structures we see today have been repurposed and rebranded by our controllers and the citizens of the 19th century.
Doesn't confuse me. It just
This is
doesn't
not a
make any
church.
sense.
This is not a mosque. This is not a castle. And this is not
No.
a government building.
They're power
These are
plants.
generators.
Oh my
Powerful
god.
and gargantuous. They would collect and generate the electromagnetic energy, which was then stored in huge power stations and distributed and redirected by sophisticated, advanced structures, one of which is a huge electromagnet, or what we've come to know as triumphal arches.
So if I just build like a really big thing with a bunch of arches in it and throw some fucking antennas on it, I'll have infinite power, right? That's what you're telling me.
The energy was stored in batteries and capacitors, such as towers and obelisks.
No, God had to make it.
All cities
Okay.
were constructed across our realm.
I'll
in the
have
form of one
6G.
big interconnected power grid, much like a huge computer motherboard. I already know what you're thinking. What? He's finally lost it. He had us with flat Earth, but this is just too much.
He had us
I
with
know,
flat
I know,
Earth.
I know.
So
The
true.
backup programming is kicking in. But before
The
you turn away to
backup
me and
programming.
cast aside your money,
I'm just
let me
too
show you how it
sheepled
works.
out to
As you
fucking
know,
believe.
we live on a flat stationary plane.
As
At
we
the
know, as you know, we live on a flat stationary plane, everyone.
There is a source of magnetism at the North Pole, and directly above this is Polaris, fixed at the central and highest point of a wondrous crystalline
Do
dome.
I have Polar? Oh no, I have the Polarians. Okay.
Beneath the firmament, different layers of atmosphere exist at different heights. The ionosphere starts at about 30 miles above Earth. It includes a thermosphere and the mesosphere. The ionosphere is an electrical atmosphere that is ionized by the sun's
I'm gonna fucking
electromagnetism.
lobotomize
It also
myself.
forms the inner edge
Newton
of
is
the
rolling
magnetosphere.
at his grave.
I know,
Well, good.
lots of
We've
big
actually
words and
attached a
abstract
magnet
concepts.
to him,
But you are familiar
so
with this
that the
process
spin
and have
will
been
generate
witness to it every day for
electricity.
the entirety of your lives. As you can see, the vials here contain molecular gases that are present in the atmosphere above us.
Sure.
When an electromagnetic source, such as a Tesla coil, is applied within close proximity of these gases, the coil's magnetic field ionizes or charges these gases, and
Yeah.
the result is phosphorescent plasma.
Yeah, they
The
glow.
gases become
Yes.
polarized. This is why our sky is
Yeah, the Earth is flat, but the atmosphere is real. What the fuck, bro? What keeps the atmosphere in place? The crystal dome?
blue. Because the sun's electromagnetic presence ionizes the atmosphere, and the result
What's the
is colored
sun
plasma.
made out of, bro?
When the sun is entering or exiting our region, or what the liars of the world call sunrise and sunset, we
Oh
see a
my
variety
God.
of color gradients due to its distance from the ionosphere above us. When the sun is no longer journeying above our region, the sky loses its color, and we can see the stars in the firmament beyond. Although the official scientists designate the ionosphere as an atmospheric layer, it is actually an ethereal layer.
Oh.
Ether is the fabric or element
No.
that carries electromagnetism.
No, it isn't. Guys. Guys, you remember my whole fucking rant on ether, right? You remember everything that I said about the ether and how that's not a thing, and I don't have to repeat that rant, right? Like, let's all just agree that I don't have to repeat that one. We just did that one.
It is the fabric that makes the sun and moon and their concentric journey above our disk possible in the first place. Ether is a mysterious fifth element.
The sun and moon don't move like this. They can be in the sky at the same time. How do you explain that, Mr. Flat Earth Flat Boy?
Possible in the first place. Ether is a mysterious fifth element. It connects everything electromagnetically through vibrational energy.
No.
It is the glue, the web, the driving force behind absolutely everything.
No.
The four other elements, air, fire, water, and earth,
it's a disproven theory for what was in space. It's not real.
The frequencies fed through the Chladni plate make the sand or salt form precise and complex geometric shapes. The higher the frequency, the more complex the geometric pattern. But what is the conduit?
The world is like it's like 250, whatever.
The sand to take such shape?
No big deal.
That's why we see fruits and vegetables that closely resemble cymatic patterns. It is the ether at work. All matter is ethereal.
No, the Greeks, like every record of the Greeks was just like dropped on the earth by God so that we would be fooled. Because, you know, God needs to fool us.
Frequency and vibration. Ether is the bridge between electromagnetic frequency and vibrational energy and the form of matter itself. You could call it the Holy Spirit of God.
Oh my God!
The historical and scientific discourse of ether is a deliberately manipulated one. The enemy introduced the truth only to discredit and subsequently bury it. Some of the alleged figures of the past have written on ether. The so-called Aristotle called it the fifth element.
The so-called Aristotle, who didn't exist because the world is only 200 years old.
Called father of electromagnetism, spoke of the ether,
God.
stated, in several parts of this treatise, an attempt has been made to explain electromagnetic phenomena by means of mechanical action, transmitted from one body to another by means of a medium occupying the space between them. The undulatory theory of light also assumes the existence of a medium. We have now to show that the properties of the electromagnetic medium are identical with those of the luminiferous medium.
The fuck does that mean?
The medium he refers to here is the ether. Albert Einstein and others successfully solidified the heliocentric model through fraudulent schools of scientific thought. But even Einstein could not deny the presence of ether. According to the general theory of relativity, space is endowed with physical qualities. In this sense, therefore, there exists an ether. According to the general theory of relativity, space without ether is unfeasible.
Listen,
for in such space,
if you just ignore the fact that ether was disproven like 150 years ago.
Nor therefore any space-time intervals in the physical sense.
No, not 150 years ago. I'm sorry. Ether was disproven. I'm sorry. Ether was disproven when we started actually venturing into space and seeing what was out there, and we realized it was just a vacuum. Electromagnetism and shit is just stuff that can move through a vacuum. Not everything needs a medium to move through. Just because something has a vacuum... Yeah, antimatter and dark matter, sure, but, like, that's not what he's talking about. Dark matter doesn't have anything to do with fucking electromagnetism. He's just...
Under the spell of heliocentrism,
he's
admit
just
it is nonsensical to deny ether's existence.
A fucking weirdo.
Today, the vacuum